What's up guys, Summer here and welcome back to another Weiss Schwarz video, and today we'll be discussing the recent English ban list. Now, English finally got a ban list and this is our first official ban list and it's going to be effective from April 1st, 2022. And this is my thoughts on it. Now, first of all, the hits are appropriate. Kaguya got hit from a choose one of three and DAL went from choose one of three to a limited two per copy as well. Now, immediate thoughts, Kaguya I feel like is still doable, but DAL a standby is completely dead. I feel like the reason why the 1-0 is so strong is because you pair it up with the 0-0 brainstorm. And all standby decks want some kind of bouncer that they can reuse. Like the 0-0 over here, where you can bounce it back and can reuse later as a drop searcher, right? And the Toka as a brainstorm, where you can bounce and reuse as a brainstorm later on. And the bounces help because you don't have to replace any other characters by standbying. You can just replace that standby character to the slot where you bounce the character in, right? And the 1-0 extra 1500 plus stride, along with the 1k from the Toka, 2-5 without any backup, which pretty much almost guarantees you a reverse and a stride effect. And as well, the 1-1 Yoshino is just such a good effect. It's basically a level 1 Mikasa, and on top of that, it's a suicider. So against standby matchups, this card is pretty insane. And as for the Kurumi is a great finisher at 4. There's multiple options you can choose, but as a 2-off, it is very limited. Now, as for the hits for Kaguya, it does hurt where you have to choose your Ricky, your clean cut, and this drop searcher. As like you can play one, and it's really hard to choose from one of these because your low zero game is infinitely worse now, and it's really less consistent. Now, for a non-standby build, I feel like you have to go with the Ricky. The Ricky is just such a good stable card. It can get you out tight situations, and you can search out things that you want for your level 1 combo. So I think you just have to run the Ricky. The clean cut, I feel like you shouldn't run at all. It's like the least you want to choose all the three, as it gives the least amount of value. The Ricky gives you the most value if you're not playing a standby build. If you're playing a standby build, I feel like you can do without the Ricky, and you have to go with your bouncer. In terms of level zeros, I feel like you kind of do need to look at your other level zeros, like maybe the Chitoke runner, right? The Chitoke Suicide Runner, the better one. And maybe you want to put that in to replace the clean cut, and maybe some other level zeros help you out, to help you out, like replace the Ricky and such. Like it's fairly easy to replace a Ricky in a standby deck, as Ricky is not as important as the bouncer, right? As for DAL life, it's dead. A standby is dead. There's just too many hits. Yes, you still have the event, but I feel like the event is the weaker out of the three cards that got hit. I feel like if they didn't hit the brainstorm and put the event in, I feel like there is some leeway, but not much. And if you do a choose one and two, I feel like their life is still gonna be quite good. If it becomes like a choose one, choose one or two, basically the 1-0 or the 1-1, and keep this off, it will give more leeway because you still have the event, you still have the brainstorm, and you can choose probably the one Yoshino, as the one Yoshino is just too good. But then again, you might have the event, so you might choose the 1-0 instead, like options, right? With this hit, to choose 1-3, it limits your options a lot, and on top of that, you don't really have a good finisher to finish off your opponent. Your finisher, sure, level 3 is infinitely weaker, as I do say, it's gonna be hard to finish off your opponents when you hit level 3 first turn. So it might take 2 turns at level 3 to finish off your opponent, which could be deadly because at level 3 in English these days, you're most likely dead when you hit level 3, right? Now, as in terms of the tier list now, I feel like their life is probably like at the top of a B tier or lower A tier now. And Kaguya is at like a mid A tier set, right? For the upcoming meta, obviously I feel like the S tier sets is definitely going to be Mushoku Tensei, A Standby Cell, and Slime A Standby. Mushoku Tensei A Standby is really good. A Standby Cell is not overplayed, but with the English cards that we have right now, English Cell is in a really good position to be S tier. Same same um same goes for Slime, a standby, mainly because of the sets that we currently have in English. And the other set I feel is just like A tier, and that's it, right? DAL can still be A tier, but it's like probably the lower half of A tier now because the options they have is really limited. Now, what I want to show you guys is probably my builds for English style. The two different builds that I have. This is the first build. I'm going to use Encore decks because I don't have the English versions. Well, technically, I can just show you guys the JP versions of my cards, but I feel like this is just quicker. Now, if you don't like some of these cards, I can just probably tell you guys what we can replace to maybe shoot you. Now, as for the cards I'm running, I'm pretty much choosing the Wama Yoshino over these two because the Wama Yoshino is just too important for standby matchups, right? As it will help you get rid of the standbys, and help you control board in a sense. So choosing one of these three, you have to go with the Wama Yoshino. The brainstorm is dead. You're not playing the brainstorm because you're not playing a standby. And tap 2 sucks. And the 1-0, you're not playing the 1-0 because you're not playing a standby. A standby is dead. So this is the first build. I am playing a standby. I am going with the level 1 combo for the Kotori instead of the choice combo for the level 1 Kurumi because Kurumi is on reverse. And even though the Kurumi, you can choose who to stack it on, right? Any good player won't likely let you stack, right? Most likely they're all gonna spread out their account backups, etc., and have a similar similar power level on each lane. And at best you're gonna get one off, right? At best. And they're only gonna give you a +1. Anyways. Well, one reverse. If you're stacking it all on one, they have a high possibility of making you get 0. Right. So this is like the best option you got. Now before I'm going for my builds, before I'm going for the builds that have more detail on my builds, I will tell you guys the reason why I'm not running the book combo. It's because English still has the events, while JP doesn't have the events. So which makes the book much better for JP and much worse for English because you're pretty much forced to run the event, and this choice combo is made for the event in a sense since you can grab event or character. Yeah, and the book is a middle 5 and you can only add a character, so it's not really great. It's not really good when you're pretty much forced to run the event and the 1-1 usually in the deck now. Okay. Now, as a reminder, you're building the deck, you're playing the deck, and you're still playing DAL, you're playing to keep up. You're not playing for even grounds or to compete against the S tier, right? You're building a deck to keep up against them, right? That's how your mindset will be. So let's just quickly get on to the first deck profile. I'm going for the 8 choice deck for now. I'll give you my reasonings as I go. Obviously, the only vulnerable brainstorm we have, which is the tap self search brainstorm. The reason why I'm running these Kurumis instead of their bullet Kurumi is because their bullet Kurumi, you need to run 2 specific choice cards, which is the their live their bullet level 1 Kurumi combo and this. I'm also running 3 of the Rikis. I feel like 3 is enough. Obviously, these 3 Rikis is good because you get to choose color you want the clock, right? And I'm running one of these Kurumi is mainly because it's for this card. Since this card needs casting clock to burn, and this card can temporarily give you the clock that you need, right? And you get to choose what level cards you want to put in the clock, which in turn allows you to choose what kind of burns you want. Either you want burn 2s or burn 3s, right? I'm running one of these climb software, pretty self-explanatory. It's a 2/5 and it's yellow, so it fits well with the colors in this deck. I am running two of these origamis. It is a clock setter, which it gives rid of pixie cards like has memory effects or on reverse effects. Also, it gives you stock, which is pretty much needed for this card. I run I am running one of these three Sawas over the Shido mainly because it goes to memory and a procs discards effect, which is needed against standby matchups. I'm running two of these Kotori's handfakes, and running four of these searchers. I mean, not searchers, these runners. Also, it's a twin drive, right? Now, if you don't like it, you can honestly remove these for the 00 Yoshino runner, and remove these for the 1-1 Yoshino, the 1-1 Yoshino Mikasa, in a sense, if you don't like it. But for me, I'm gonna put it just here mainly because I want some red for this card. If you don't like it, you can definitely replace it with the 00 runner and this cowgirl for the hand fixing, obviously. Now the 1-0 Kotori, I feel like this is a card that you need to understand where your deck state is and the game state, because you don't want to blindly triple these. You want to play the right amount, right? Because if you trigger climax during its first effect, it ends. Because when this card attacks, right, able to climax combo, I can perform the fun action 2 times with the top card of my deck. If that card is their character, their life character, or a event, I can add it to hand. If you trigger these, if you reveal a climax at the top, your just effect ends. You just get 0. So this card can be useful, obviously, because you get a checked off too, and you know if you can get this effect off. So this card, you just really want to play the right amount at level 1, level 2, or any level where you want to play. You want to play the right amount. You don't want to blindly play like try field it. You want to know your game state, your deck state. You want to know just how much you can play, how much of the effect you can proc, right? So think about it before dropping it down. This card Hibiki is an amazing card because if you have this in memory, it gains 2k and 2500, and it also gains 6k. It is facing a level 2. So it's a level 2 killer, and it's pretty good against standby decks because it is a level 2 killer. And it gets pretty big, right? It's a 4k alone during your turn is 2500, 6.5 already, plus 6k is 12.5. It's 12.5 without any boost. So yeah, I guess a 10.5 2 is dead, pretty much dead. And now I'm obviously running the 1-1 early bomb to compensate of not running the 1-1 blue Yoshino, mainly because I don't have blue in this build, right? And blue is pretty awkward in this. Once again, if you don't like this runner, I feel like you can swap it with the 0-0 Yoshino. And if you don't, I feel like this card is out of place, mainly because of the color difference, you can swap it out for the 1-1 Yoshino as well. And I am playing Ace but I feel like running that card is just infinitely slower in this particular build because it's a cost one, right? You show how to play in hand. And without this, you can just slam it down and it's instantly useful. Obviously, running the three of these event because I get a standby, you get rid of these 1-1 hand encores, 7/5s, and you're good, right? And you don't need to worry about your 2/2s mainly because of this card, right? And you can come off the event with the Sawa, since you can rest the Sawa and get 1 to 3 effects from this event, and you can just pay 1 and send this to memory, and then mill top 3, right? Obviously, early drop backup and the Suicider for level 1. It also pumps 1k to a character on play, and it's a level 1 suicider. The pump 1k can be helpful to get over some stuff, like you pump 1k here, or you can pump 1k here to get over something at level 1. Potentially, like a lane. You're pretty much, you want to guarantee at least one lane reverse against standby. And as for the level 2s, another airdrop suicider, and then you're at 1 free fish. 1's enough, 2's too many. You're not playing a standby, so just make do a 1. This is the better early play for Toka, obviously. I feel like this is better than Toka, mainly because it's 10-5 across the board. Either player, it's not temporarily 10-5. The Toka is obviously temporarily 10-5. This is a 10-5 across the board because it gains 1k for each of your back row. It also heals, right? Granted, this has to be in clock, but you can just clock it from hand, and you heal 1, right? Because he plays from clock, you pay 2 dish 1, play from clock, and heal 1, right? The Toka costs less and is less tedious, but I feel like this card is just better, mainly because it is a 10-5, and the cost is not really hard or annoying, right? It's simple, and this card is better Toka. I'm all gonna say. One of these coteries. The check dot 3 is good. The plus soul can be useful at times, especially if when you play standby. And the front 2k is always helpful. And then we're here with the 3-2 Kurumi. It comes up with this difficult. If you don't know what this does, I'll play a heal during your encore step. Okay, not when it's played. Climax combo. When this card attacks, if this climax is in your climax zone, it gains the following effect. On attack, I get to choose one character, and it gets the following effect. It gives 1k, and then auto pay 2, dish 1. And at the end of this card's attack, I may pay the card. If I do, I can choose a card for my clock, and you burn X plus 1 level. I have explained this card before in my JP builds. I will explain again. You choose a level 1, it burn X plus 1 level. So you choose level 1, it burns for 2. You choose level 3, it burns for 4. You choose level 0, it burns for 1, etc. And yes, this card can be tedious because sometimes you can level up to 0-3 and you got no cards in clock, which makes this card infinitely worse than the Kurumi. But then again, this card doesn't lack the soul, right? Because standby lacks soul, and you're mostly swinging for 2s, and your Kurumi is a 2, which makes it infinitely harder to kill your opponent, especially the other options in your deck, which costs quite a bit of stock to do so, right? Like the Icy Tail card. Well, the Toka burn 1, right? Well, this card is just pay 2, dish 1, burn X. And to compensate this card's effect, you run this card, which gives you the necessary clock you need for the burn. If you so happen to be in one of those picky situations where you level up to 3-0, right? Since this card, you can rest it and get just two characters and put it into your clock temporarily because you heal it to the encore step. Like I said, if you don't like some of these, I feel like this pretty much is a staple. If you don't like the 0-0 runners, what you can do is get rid of it and put in these Yoshinos. Let's see. Where's this Yoshino? There you go. You can just put in these Yoshinos by getting rid of these and put in these Yoshinos. And if you feel like this is out of place, if you get rid of these, you pretty much get rid of these. Unless you feel like these 3 colors is enough and playing full color DAL is okay with you. If you want to get rid of these, you can get rid of these as well and put in the 1-1 Yoshino as well. Yeah, that's going to be a choice build. And I'm pretty much going for choice as model 1 combo now, as Mini is the only good combo that DAL has. Yes, the book combo is good, but you're forced to run the event, and since you're running the event, the book combo is not good with the event. Choice combo is good because you have the event as well. Now I'll move on to choice standby. I'm not playing standby once again. Pretty much zero lineup is pretty much the same. I am running pretty much the same lineup. Uh, I'm running two of these two instead of the 2 and 1. I'm running the zero zero Yoshino instead. And the other Yoshino, I have the 1-1 Yoshino in here because this is mainly your standby target. Your main standby target is the level 1. You can standby out the level 1 Hibiki, you can standby out the Suicider, you can standby out the 1-1 Yoshino, and you can standby out the 1-0 Kotori, whatever you feel like, right? This card's pretty much self-explanatory now. I explained it before in the Ace Choice build. Same goes for this, and same goes for the event, because the event comes out to Sawa. Sawa goes to memory, and Sawa procs this. And you get 12-5 beater at level 2, which is fantastic. Always your drop stretcher. Early play bomb. And then the 1-1 Yoshino playing here. You don't have to play from hand hardly because of the standby. And the 1-0 suicide is just generally useful against the 1-1 Silicas. And this is pretty much self-explanatory. And as for the low threes, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You're forced to run two of these, so you want to add in self-finishers like the one copy of the Kurumi, the Icy Tail. I feel like one copy is enough. I think that like two is a bit much. But if you feel like you need two, what you can do is replace one of these with that, right? I feel like this card is a bit worse than most of the newer generation cards that we got from newer sets because it only stops backups and you can stop event. As more JP sets comes to English, I feel like you need cards to have say your opponent can't play backup or event with this card tags to be a relevant card. I feel like this is still relevant enough to be played, mainly because it's a sub finisher now, which pretty much you kind of have to use. This card alone has not a high chance of killing off your opponent, right? If they're like what 3-0 or 3-1, right? This card against 4-5 on play till the end of your opponent's turn, and your opponent can play back on one attacks, so it can stop those rest backups or with free fast backups or burn backups, right? But it really can't stop any of those like Konosuba counters or money counters, etc. Right? Also, during this is during either player's turn, right? Okay, when this card battle opponent's reverse, I get my pay 2 burn 1, which is why. Now, if you don't care about the 4-5 effect, what you can do is just stand by out this card. Obviously, you can stand by out this card as well, and you're probably gonna stand by all these. All these level 3s, except for the early play, is all good standby targets, right? And as for the Kotori, it's a mix and mix if you want to standby this card out, mainly because you are playing standby, and if you feel like you don't have soul damage and you want soul damage, you might want to play this from hand. So if you have that situation, what you can do is honestly -1 these. I'll put this up to 2. So you have an option to standby out and an option to play it for hand, right? And if you want 2 of these, you can obviously get rid of this card for 2 of these, right? Or get rid of one of your zeros. Like maybe do 1 and 1 with the Kotori and the Toga for one of these, right? Uh, if you're having trouble against some level 0 matchups, what you can do, you can just run the Suicider. This one, the Suicider here. You can just do 1-1 because you're not playing a standby, right? And this is particularly pretty fast. The A standby, and you don't really need. You're not really breaking yourself by having 1-1 because you have other cards that can help you deep break what I said, or help you search like the Ricky and the Sawa, right? You can definitely run this and have these 1-1, and it's not really a problem, right? What you can do. Anyways, that's gonna be it, and I keep in mind I do think DAL is like a lower A tier set now, maybe a high B tier. Maybe you want to maybe a high B tier, probably a high B tier with a lower A tier section over there, and Kaguya is probably a mid A tier set. And when more, I hope there's gonna be more sets coming, like with Damachi coming and Moshisuku Tencent is probably already out by now. It's gonna be a hard game to it's gonna be pretty hard for now. But I feel like I'm considering the future matchups, the future sets that's releasing. I feel like these builds is able to keep up, not be like not being in a -1 situation, but mostly keep up and having the options and answers to most of the stuff that they have. Right? Is is the matchup gonna be hard? Yes, it's gonna be hard because you're limited. But is it gonna be like what's it called -1 matchup? Yeah, probably sometimes -1, but definitely not -2, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. If you are still playing DAL, good luck, and I'll see you guys next time.